This is my daytime job here. Scrap metal business. Been doing it for roughly 32 years. Funnest part of my job, 4 o'clock going home.
But at night, I have a whole other life. I play Peter Criss in a Kiss tribute band.
Okay, you guys, here we go. You hold it right there now, okay? Yeah.
What he's going to do to make his guitar smoke is he's going to pull a switch on his guitar, and that's going to activate a couple of batteries, which has like an igniter. It should smoke pretty good.
And that's the pose we're going to do for the smoke?
Yeah. Yeah, spread those legs and lean back and you got it. There you go, bud.
Didn't light. Here, use one of his pliers.
It's hooked up.
Did you bend the wires to make them thick so they made contact with the electrode?
You know what? I didn't do that.
Aha!
Fucking screwdriver.
Yeah!
Yeah. Ready?
We could go.
Okay.
You know, breathe fire next door.
Let's go.
Don't look at it. Shoot it, man. Don't move. Don't move. Don't look at it.
Personally, I think most of the tribute acts out there that I've seen and heard of are a fucking joke. They're just a bunch of guys that put on shoes and makeup, don't pay any attention at all to the music, to the important details of what a true Kiss show is. They're just more interested in going, hey, look at me, I'm a white guy with fluffy hair, I'm Paul Stanley.
Hold it, hold it, hold it, same thing. Okay, cool.
I'd like to basically recreate the Kiss show as close as possible. I mean, right down to the costumes and, you know, the sound of it, the energy. I mean, I think Kiss probably was the greatest band there ever was and ever will be.
Over to your left again, guys.
My name's Val Popovic. I play lead guitar, Ace, in the Kiss tribute band Larger Than Life.
And I'm this guy right down here. My name's Jimmy Newell. I play the Peter Criss in Larger Than Life. Right there, look at that.
I'm crazy about a nightlife.
I played in a band called Villain. We went on to record a demo and it got picked up by an independent label. Then they fired me. So I went through
Thanks, but no
downward
thanks.
spiral and I just stopped playing rock for a while.
Before the Kiss tribute band started, we were in a band called Big Money, and it was like 8 or 10 months of wasted time.
And then one day I came home and I opened up the Valley Music News and there was this ad in there for, it said, Kiss tribute band wants to unleash its massive stage show on the West Coast. And then Andy goes, what'd you think about shaving the goatee off? And I'm all, well yeah, you know.
The part it comes off.
And then I was in the band.
Not much of an artist.
Me and Jimmy are actually new at doing this.
Yeah, this is like my 3rd time. I can't even draw stick people right. You know, that's pretty bad.
I get one side close and then I go to quality control, Andy, and see if he thinks it's okay, and then I'll start to draw the other side. QT.
Let's go.
Is that too far out?
Let's go. I think that one might be wide.
So narrow this one, come down lower. Okay.
Go this way more? Oh.
Like that. Just go up higher. But yeah, just a little more. I can do that. Thanks.
You know what? I think the bottom needs to slant out more too.
Andy was just there the whole time helping us put on our makeup, everything. You know, the very first time we put on our makeup together, Andy was there.
Takes a lot of time, but it's worth it. Once we start getting the hang of it a little better.
Andy can do it in a half hour.
Yeah, I can do it like 25 minutes. My record is 15.
15 minutes?
Yeah, we were going to be late for the show.
Oh, wow.
Good. One more, a little closer.
I think that Andy was born to do this role, you know, and he really grasped the character of Gene, and he becomes the character.
Jimmy, up.
They're doing a cover shot.
Gene, you're gonna. Andy.
But becoming that character, that's what I wanted to strive to do. I wanted to be like Ace, more like how Andy was with Gene.
Head back just a little bit, right there, yeah.
Money. We don't have any. We need some.
Probably making the $5 grand a night gigs.
Or startup cash.
Yeah.
As long as you got some startup cash, you can do anything.
That's why we're doing the photo shoot right now, and then shop it to clubs and agencies and see who bites.
I think as soon as we get this promo pack done and set up the way we want it to be, the floodgates will open.
The first gig was insane.
The club is packed, 600 people.
But they treated you like you were kids.
Yeah, it was
and
like...
that was a trip. That's what I miss from bands like being in Big Money, or I lost that inner feeling when people like what you do. I mean, you walk out there and you are like larger than life, you know? You do something silly like an Ace gesture, like a thumbs up, and they just go, yeah! And that's what was so neat about being Kiss. Everyone was just like, man, we gotta do another show. We gotta do another show.
Well, it's you have to look at what it's about, because when you're doing a tribute band, you basically have to become somebody else. So you kind of lose, you know, you have to keep it together and not lose touch with yourself, kind of deal. And there's a lot of, I mean, I've seen, I pretty much know of every member in every tribute, and I kind of have an idea what they're like. And I know some of the other Genes out there that they have trouble, you know, discerning between themselves and the character they're playing, and they tend to turn into pretty much of an asshole. You know, and I'm not going to name names, but that's probably one of the hardest parts. But what was the question again?
There we go. Oh yeah. Good. Oh great.
Our world ended when Andy. I was just like, I got a phone call from Jay saying there's like fire engines in front of Andy's house.
My wife had to go to work that night. We lived across the street from Andy. She calls me over at the babysitter's house and goes, "Oh my God, it's chaos out here." I'm like, "What? You know, grassy knoll? What? What's going on?" She says, "The fire department's here. Ambulance is here. Patchy's house is on fire." And he jumped through the window. You know, he's all cut up. He's all jacked up. We're like, "What?"
And then he found out what was going on, and I was just like, "This can't happen," you know?
What I found out when I got there, they were telling me, "We think he might have fell asleep while smoking, this and this and that." And there was a cop inside the building, and he leaned out and said, "No, these fires were set deliberately." And I said, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Man, there was a fire lit in every one of these rooms."
And an ambulance took Andy away. I'm like, oh my God, you know, is he dead? That's the first thing that goes through your mind. Is he dead? Then, you know, you find out he's not dead. And then you think, okay, well, what happened?
And then later on we found out that Patchy was hearing things.
Said all kinds of stuff, like he thinks that Kiss is evil now. It's just upset.
He says, "I don't even listen to Kiss anymore. I don't even like Kiss anymore."
And to hear that from Patchy, here's a guy who lived across the street from me, who I shared the stage with, totally Gene Simmons on stage. But now, cuckoo, cuckoo.
And then you hear the stories from, well, the grandfather thinks this, and Andy became too much the Gene character, took over his life.
Some guys who I've met start to believe that you know, they're the character or whatever. And Andy was one of those guys. He did that in Fantasyland, and I think he got sucked up by his ego. He gets sucked into all that crap, and everybody telling him he looks like Gene Simmons and everything. He really started to believe it, but then you got to come back down to reality when he goes home. And, you know, I may be Gene Simmons, but, you know, in his mind, but his old lady's going to take out the fucking garbage.
It's kind of hard because, you know, you start to feel, in a way, torn, you know, between, you have to feel for Andy, what he's going through, but then at the same time, you're totally hurt, devastated. I can't explain how I felt. I was just like, you have the whole world in your hands, you think that there's nothing but smooth sailing ahead, and then boom. I don't know how to say it. It's like it'll be totally weird being without Andy there.
Yeah.
Finally here in Modesto to audition for Larger Than Life. But many things are larger than life.
Hey, what's happening, dude? Jonathan.
How far are you from Antelope?
Antelope, probably about...
What's up, Hollywood?
I'm gonna try to find someone to let this dream of mine not end. If this guy works out, hopefully Andy will let us use his costume. If Andy would ever come back, I mean, to me the door would always be open, you know, for him, since he started it.
Too much about the moves and stuff. We really want to
yeah, but the thing is, it's been 4 years for me, so I gotta warm up to you.
Just play as a bass player. Just play. That's what we want to do. Really listening. No, I mean you don't got to jump around and everything else. Just play.
I do, because we're gonna have a show in a month and a half.
Sure, but I'm listening to you musically. Is what we're trying to hear each other musically. So that's what I'm saying. We're gonna do all that stuff like that.
Yeah, but okay, just ignore me then.
No, I want to. Don't worry too much about that. I know you can throw down, dude. Jay. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. I know you can throw down. What I'm saying is, we're just musically, we're trying to hear each other.
Playing myself isn't the problem. It's just remember the nuances.
Well, none of us have played together in a while either. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
musically
4 years. That's 1,200 days.
I understand. Just musically, let's just play music. Don't worry too much about it. Jimmy.
Let's take a break. Let's just take a short break.
People, you know, discerning between themselves and the character they're playing, and they tend to turn into pretty much of an asshole. You know, and I'm not going to name names, but that's probably one of the hardest parts. But what was the question again?
There we go. Oh yeah. Good. Oh great.
Our world ended when Andy. I was just like, I got a phone call from Jay saying there's like fire engines in front of Andy's house.
My wife had to go to work that night. We lived across the street from Andy. She calls me over at the babysitter's house and goes, "Oh my God, it's chaos out here." I'm like, "What? You know, grassy knoll? What? What's going on?" She says, "The fire department's here. Ambulance is here. Patchy's house is on fire." He jumped through the window. You know, he's all cut up. He's all jacked up. I go, "What?"
Then he found out what was going on, and I was just like, "This can't happen," you know?
What I found out when I got there, they were telling me, "We think he might have fell asleep while smoking, this and this and that." And there was a cop inside the building, and he leaned out and said, "No, these fires were set deliberately." And I said, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Man, there was a fire lit in every one of these rooms."
And an ambulance took Andy away. I'm like, oh my God, you know, is he dead? That's the first thing that goes through your mind. Is he dead? Then, you know, you find out he's not dead. And then you think, okay, well, what happened?
And then later on we found out that Patchy was hearing things.
Said all kinds of stuff, like he thinks that Kiss is evil now. It's just upset.
He says, "I don't even listen to Kiss anymore. I don't even like Kiss anymore."
And to hear that from Patchy, here's a guy who lived across the street from me who I shared the stage with, totally Gene Simmons on stage. But now, cuckoo, cuckoo.
And then you hear the stories from, well, the grandfather thinks this, and Andy became too much the Gene character. Took over his life.
Some guys who I've met start to believe that, you know, they're the character or whatever. And Andy was one of those guys. He did that in Fantasyland. And I think he got sucked up by his ego. He gets sucked into all that crap, and everybody telling him he looks like Gene Simmons and everything. He really started to believe it. But then you got to come back down to reality when he goes home. And, you know, I may be Gene Simmons, but, you know, in his mind, but his old lady's going to take out the fucking...
It's the greatest band there ever was and ever will be.
Over to your left again, guys.
My name's Val Popovic. I play lead guitar, Ace, in the Kiss tribute band Larger Than Life.
And I'm this guy right down here. My name's Jimmy Newell. I play the Peter Criss in Larger Than Life. Right there, look at that.
I'm crazy about a nightlife.
I played in a band called Villain. We went on to record a demo, and they got picked up by an independent label. Then they fired me. So I went through
thanks, but no
downward
thanks.
spiral, and I just stopped playing rock for a while.
Before the Kiss tribute band started, we were in a band called Big Money, and it was like 8 or 10 months of wasted time.
And then one day I came home, and I opened up the Valley Music News, and there was this ad in there for, it said, Kiss tribute band wants to unleash its massive stage show on the West Coast. And then Andy goes, "What'd you think about shaving the goatee off?" And I'm all, "Well, yeah, you know."
The part it comes off.
And then I was in the band.
Not much of an artist.
Me and Jimmy are actually new at doing this.
Yeah, this is like my third time. I can't even draw stick people right. You know, that's pretty bad.
I get one side close, and then I go to quality control, Andy, and see if he thinks it's okay, and then I'll start to draw the other side. QT.
Let's go.
Is that too far out?
Let's go. I think that one might be wide.
So narrow this one, come down lower. Okay.
Go this way more? Oh.
Just go up higher. But yeah, just a little more. I can do that.
Thanks.
You know what? I think the bottom needs to slant out more too.
Andy was just there the whole time helping us put on our makeup, everything. You know, the very first time we put on our makeup together, Andy was there.
Takes a lot of time, but it's worth it. Once we start getting the hang of it a little better.
Andy can do it in a half hour.
Yeah, I can do it like 25 minutes. My record is 15
15 minutes?
Yeah, we were gonna be late for the show.
Oh, wow.
Good. One more, a little closer.
I think that Andy was born to do this role, you know, and he really grasped the character of Gene, and he becomes a
Thanks, but no
downward
thanks.
spiral, and I just stopped playing rock for a while.
Before the KISS tribute band started, we were in a band called Big Money, and it was like 8 or 10 months of wasted time.
And then one day I came home, and I opened up the Valley Music News, and there was this ad in there for, it said, KISS tribute band wants to unleash its massive stage show on the West Coast. And then Andy goes, what'd you think about shaving the goatee off? And I'm all, well, yeah, you know.
The part it comes off.
And then I was in the band.
Not much of an artist.
Me and Jimmy are actually new at doing this.
Yeah, this is like my 3rd time. I can't even draw stick people right. You know, that's pretty bad.
I get one side close, and then I go to quality control, Andy, and see if he thinks it's okay, and then I'll start to draw the other side. QT.
Let's go.
Is that too far out?
That's cool. I think that one might be a little wide.
So narrow this one, come down lower. Okay.
Go this way more? Oh.
Just go up higher. But yeah, just a little more. I can do that.
You know what? I think the bottom needs to slant out more too.
Andy was just there the whole time helping us put on our makeup, everything. You know, the very first time we put on our makeup together, Andy was there.
Takes a lot of time, but it's worth it. Once we start getting the hang of it a little better.
Andy can do it in a half hour.
Yeah, I can do it like 25 minutes. My record is 15.
15 minutes?
Yeah, we were gonna be late for the show.
Oh, wow.
Good. One more, a little closer.
I think that Andy was born to do this role, you know, and he really grasped the character of Gene, and he becomes the character.
Jimmy, up.
You're doing a cover shot. I mean,
Gene, you're gonna.
do that shot.
Gene, you're gonna. I mean, Andy.
But becoming that character, that's what I wanted to strive to do. I wanted to be like Ace, more like how Andy was with Gene.
Head back just a little bit, right there, yeah.
Money. We don't have any. We need some.
There we go. Oh, yeah. Good. Oh, great.
Our world ended when Andy. I was just like, I got a phone call from Jay saying there's like fire engines in front of Andy's house.
My wife had to go to work that night. We lived across the street from Andy. She calls me over at the babysitter's house and goes, oh my God, it's chaos out here. I'm like, what, you know, grassy knoll, what, what's going on? She says, the fire department's here, ambulance is here. Patchy's house is on fire. He jumped through the window. You know, he's all cut up, he's all jacked up. I go, what?
And then he found out what was going on, and I was just like, this can't happen, you know?
What I found out when I got there, they were telling me, we think he might have fell asleep while smoking, this and this and that, and there was a cop inside the building, and he leaned out and said, no, these fires were set deliberately. And I said, are you sure? He goes, man, there was a fire lit in every one of these rooms.
And an ambulance took Andy away. I'm like, oh my God, you know, is he dead? That's the first thing that goes through your mind. Is he dead? Then, you know, you find out he's not dead. And then you think, okay, well, what happened?
And then later on we found out that Patchy was hearing things.
Said all kinds of stuff, like he thinks that Kiss is evil now. It's just upset.
He says, I don't even listen to Kiss anymore. I don't even like Kiss anymore.
And to hear that from Apache, here's a guy who lived across the street from me, who I shared the stage with, totally, you know, totally Gene Simmons on stage. But now, cuckoo, cuckoo.
And then you hear the stories from, well, the grandfather thinks this, and Andy became too much the Gene character, took over his life.
Some guys who I've met start to believe that, you know, they're the character or whatever. And Andy was one of those guys. He did that in Fantasyland. And I think he got sucked up by his ego. He gets sucked into all that crap, and everybody telling him he looks like Gene Simmons and everything. He really started to believe it. But then you got to come back down to reality when he goes home. And, you know, I may be Gene Simmons, but, you know, in his mind, but his old lady's going to take out the fucking garbage.
It's kind of hard because, you know, you start to feel, in a way, torn, you know, between, you have to feel for Andy, what he's going through, but then at the same time, you're totally hurt, devastated. I can't explain how I felt. I was just like, you have the whole world in your hands, you think that